Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Juniper Veil. I have a new deck today, which I want to show you. This is actually the first time I get to use the deck. Um, so this will be fun. I got this deck um, at what was it called? The Dark Side and Oddities Expo that was held in New Jersey. Um, There were two people out there selling a bunch of tarot card decks, so many to choose from. This one really stood out to me. I just thought it was really beautiful. It's called The Endless Tarot. This is the box. It's by Eric Maile, Maile. Here, it's a nice, solid box with the magnet. Nice designs on the inside that are similar to the cards. So the really great thing about this deck is it's an endless panorama. So the cards, when you put them together, they kind of create this endless scene, which is really nice. The other thing, so this deck comes with the guidebook, which is a really great guidebook. Tells you about the cards, tells you about different ways to do spreads. Talks a little bit about um, other ways to use the deck that may be just a little bit different than doing your traditional tarot. So there's a lot of good information in here. The other interesting about this deck is there is a story card, which is a nice little new tarot card that you could add in. Does not need to be used if you're not used to using non-traditional tarot. But there is information about what this card means. It's talking about the journey, a narrative, cause and effect experience. So this is not a numbered card. It's unique to this deck. Can be removed if you want to, but it also helps you to focus on the journey before the destination. Um, if this card, the story, appears in your readings, ask yourself if you are taking time to mindfully appreciate the process of steps that you have taken towards your goals. It's what's nice is the author also gives you meanings of each card if you're putting them out in a panorama. The author also has a lot of creative notes that they put in for each card. You can't really read it from here, but just in general, panorama, creative notes, upright, reversed. So they give you a lot of really cool information. They also have two lover cards. So one lover card I have to kind of cover because YouTube doesn't want any type of nudity. So you could use either, you could use both. This lover's card is more romantic. Well, this one doesn't necessarily have to be just romance. It also does things like companionship. So you could keep them both in. I think I'm only going to keep in one of them just because of YouTube and nudity. So I'm just going to keep this one in, but this could also mean romantic as far as I'm concerned. Um, it's a beautiful deck in general. The drawings. Oh, hello, Noli. My cat has joined me on the couch, so you may hear her. Um, so this deck, I did some crazy shuffling before I started because everything was in order. But just to give you an idea of the design of each card, you can tell people are on journeys. The illustrations I think are beautiful. The use of colors is beautiful. Again, you can set these cards up in a row and they just create a nice little tableau. They just go together so well with the tree line and the back and the mountains. This is the Knight of Swords. Really nice deck. I would highly recommend it. Also because I like the material. It's a little slippery, but nice. But the other thing that I really like that I wanted to show you about the deck is that it's very easy to shuffle. So it's pliable. It's not as stiff as other decks. Oops. So I'm going to do a quick shuffle. I want to use those two cards. They're a good size in my hands. I show these decks like I'm selling them. I'm not selling anything. I don't get any money for anything. I just like to show them off. Um, it's very artistic. I find them to be very beautiful. The feel of this deck, it's very soft, which is nice. Um, and also, like I said, if I really want to get into that shuffling, very easy. Very easy to bend these without, hurting them. Uh, Again, just very easy to shuffle. I mean, this is brand new, never used it before. Feels as though it's a deck I've used a whole bunch of times. It just feels broken in without looking broken in. So that's really nice. The other thing I wanted to point out is I like the different spreads that they highlight in here. Um, they do go into specifically about reversals, um, adopting tarot spreads for endless tarot. Of course, they have the Celtic cross. There's a storyteller spread, which I think I kind of want to do. The storyteller spread, that sounds like fun. And I don't know what this one is. A Myriorama or a Miriorama. Um, so that's like a nice different way to do the spread. It's not like traditional tarot. So that includes the panoramas and sequences. I have to practice that sometime later. So we can look into that a little bit more further. But I'm going to do the storyteller spread. The storyteller spread, it uses 8 cards to gain the detailed insights into a situation or a challenge in your life or as a creative exercise. So what we're going to do is we use this deck in the storyteller spread to craft a story. You want to shuffle the cards well, and then you want to draw 8 cards. You place them in a row and you read them from left to right. Number 1 is catalyst, 2 is hero, 3 is companion, 4 is foil, 5 is foe, 6 is support, 7 is climax, and 8 is consequence. So we're going to do a spread like that. You can even go, it gives you details on how to go even deeper into the spread. You can try isolating certain cards at a time, side by side, see how they appear against one another. How does your hero card look like when it is set beside the foil card instead of the companion card? You can write down notes just to keep track of the original placement and try out different placements and see what that tells you. So right now I'm just going to do the 1 through 8, 1 through 8 down here. And what are we going to ask? So let's see. Let me put this guy here. Save the space page. I'm curious about the Tennessee election. The Democrat made a lot of grounds in a place that was very red. So it was quite interesting. The results. Most people figured that the Republican would probably win, but the fact that the Democrat was so close was very interesting. But what was also interesting is that Election Truth Alliance also said there was a lot of anomalies in how the votes came out, including districts where there were more votes than there should have been. And also, it looked like there was a big change very quickly that seemed a little bit of out of sorts when it came to the spread of the votes. So, Election Truth Alliance has more information about that if you'd like to look into it. They do think that there's evidence of some type of vote manipulation going on. I want to ask the cards, see what they think, or what they're willing to tell me about it. Oops, and I'm going to use that storyteller spread to get a good idea. And my cat Noelle is sitting right next to me. I'm sitting on her second favorite couch, so she has come to join me. She just came back from the vet. She gets her she gets a shot every month, so she doesn't like going to the vet. But I'm glad she calmed down very quickly. And she's spending time with me. She doesn't hate me. Okay, that's always good. I'm going to try not to do reversals, but if a reversal comes up, then I will honor it. Um, but I'm trying to shuffle so that I don't have reversal. But we'll see what happens. All right, so 8 cards, and my question is, all right, can you tell me a little bit more about the vote in Tennessee between, let's see, Afton Ben, who was the Democrat, and the Republican's name was Matt Epps. Um, was there any shenanigans going on? Was there any vote manipulation going on here? So, what's our storyteller's spread going to tell us about this? And just to let everybody know, today is December 5th. Right now it is 2:32 p.m. my time, just to get a date. I'd like to show you the date, but I don't want to show also all of my info. But today is it's the 12th. Today is the 5th. As you can see, red on the 5. If I change the date, it goes to a black because that is not today's date. And it's 2:32 p.m. my time. Okay. All right. So 8 cards. We have 17, the star. We have the fool. 2 of pentacles. Oh, we got 2 little kitty cats there. I'm going to run out of space. That's okay. I got 10 of swords. Ace of wands. Let me move these over a little bit. Excuse me. My little crystals. Nice colors. Okay. So let me put this one here because I'm going to need some space. The star, the fool, 2 of pentacles, 10 of swords, ace of wands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, we have the 2 of wands. 7, we have the 3 of swords. And 19 right there, which is card number 8 is card 19, the sun. Doesn't that look so neat? I hope you guys can see it well. I have a little bit of a glare, but I love how it creates this little panorama, right? It just blends so nice. I just love that. Oh, so pretty. Okay, let me put these here. And they are a little slippery, so they tend to slide. Okay. Yeah, so I have the star, the fool, 2 of pentacles, 10 of swords, ace of wands, 2 of wands, 3 of swords, and the sun. So number 1 is the catalyst. The first card represents the catalyst of the story. It may be an event or force which motivates all of the action thereafter. It may be something in the past or something in the near future. So I have the star. And as you can see with this card, there is a unicorn on the bottom. Beautiful. And then we have shooting star above. We have some nice mountains. It looks like there's snow on them. It looks a little cold, but it looks very nice out. Looks like winter. So the star in this spread, And I think I've said this before, but the star is always a card to me that I have a hard time remembering or understanding its significance. It's because I feel like it could be so many things depending upon the question you're asking. So this is peace, optimism, hope. We're thinking of the calm before the storm or the light at the end of the dark tunnel. Um, we have an optimistic outlook. It's been difficult to maintain, or maybe it recently faltered. This card indicates that things will improve and that there's a sense of security and calmness will be restored. So if you have been struggling, your hardship is likely starting to let up when the star appears. It's especially associated with emotional well being. It doesn't always indicate changes in circumstances, but rather it may suggest that something will affect your outlook. Even when things are hard, the star casts a light that shows us how to be optimistic. So, this is the catalyst. So, there is some optimism involved. So, maybe an event or a force which motivates all of the action thereafter. It may be something in the past or something in the near future. So, this is hope, optimism, peace. So in a panorama, let's see, there is some new stuff. So I haven't done panoramas yet, so I'm not going to go deep into that. So let's look at this as the catalyst, as hope, optimism, peace. We did get the Democrat gaining a lot of ground. So if that is something that you wanted to happen, that's good. Our hero, though, is the Fool. So the Fool is the main character. That's what the hero is, anyway. So in this spread, the Fool is our main character, which is interesting because the Fool is the main character of the whole tarot deck. Um, this may represent you or some aspect of yourself that is taking center stage. It may also represent a querent if you are doing this reading for another person. So the fool, right, is the person who is going out and just starting the journey. So it's very interesting that they also came up as the hero. We're looking at the new beginnings, we're looking at new journeys, we're looking at innocence. So we have this sort of optimism that's coming in from this vote, or maybe the fact that the um, Election Truth Alliance are starting a new journey and looking into how this vote went. The next card is the Companion. This represents something which accompanies the hero on their journey, maybe a friend or an enemy, or it may not even be a person at all. Instead, it could be a secret, a goal, or some other intangible companion. And what I like about that is that it's the Two of Pentacles, right? Two of Pentacles, uh, you're going on this journey, which is funny, like the way it said the card with the companion, because it's two cats, right? They are wearing pentacles on their collars. They look like they're starting on a journey. So the fact that it's a companion card and you have two kitty cats here, I thought was very interesting. Um, the pentacles, of course, can be money. Trying to think of how this would relate to um, a political sort of vote. It's the earth suit, sense of wellness and stability. You can also think of health or groundedness. So we can think about it as not just wealth and finances, right? We're thinking of wealth in experience, friends, knowledge, and so on. I'm kind of going towards knowledge, maybe friends, or not necessarily friends, but like, hmm, companions or people as a whole coming together, maybe party affiliations. So the Fool, I don't know who the Fool is yet. I didn't get to show you more of the Fool card. So you see this Fool is walking up the path along the mountain, and they also have a companion with them. Looks like I think that's a dog. I don't think it's a cat. Could be a cat, but I think it's a dog. So they're going up these steps, starting on their journey. There's that black, looks like a new moon in the sky, right? Because of that black dot. So that the new moon is like, beginnings. You're starting on a new journey. The fourth card in the spread is the foil. So this is the hero's opposite. It represents the thing which clashes against them. It is not necessarily an enemy, but it is always a powerful contrast between the hero. It may even represent some aspect of the hero themselves. So here we have the Ten of Swords, right? Um, in my other deck I use, the Ten of Swords, you have that um, sword kind of going through the body, right? This one, you see a sword, it's broken up in pieces, it's fallen apart. So there is an ending. This sword, though, when I see that sword that's broken apart, feels like to me that everything's just come apart, right? So swords are very strong minor arcana in my feeling. Um, they can be something dangerous. They can talk about battle. Um, what does the sword kind of say in this spread? I know it takes me a little longer to go through and think everything through, but this is a new deck and a new spread. Swords are air. We're talking about mind, truth, communication. So the foil could be the truth. So that's very interesting. Is the truth not coming out? Because we're looking at defeat, we're looking at devastation. If you're looking at this from the Democrats' point of view, they were defeated. They did not win. You have nowhere else to go but up now. So that's very interesting. Maybe that we change our goals or choose a new path to walk. So I'm definitely, once I get through what all these cards are in the spread, I think it's going to help me to really think about the story. So card 5 is the foe. This represents a challenge or an antagonist against which the hero must face. This could be a person or a group of people or force that opposes the hero. It is a hurdle to overcome or a test to be passed. And that we have as Ace of Wands. Aces are the beginnings. Wands are like fire. The Ace of Wands, creative power, inspiration, expression, potential, opportunities, and gifts. It's important to create something new. There are opportunities that must be grasped. A door may be opening, but it's your responsibility to walk through it. Keep your eyes open to opportunities. So this is kind of coming around to me. And I'll get into what I think this is starting to mean in a second. I just want to go through the rest of the cards. Because it's interesting to have a foe be opportunity, right? 6 is support. This card indicates a place from which the hero may derive support, which we have the Two of Wands. This could be suggesting helpful advice, asking you to recall a past lesson, or pointing the hero toward a place or a person that will be able to help them. So here, the Two of Wands are these people. They are getting ready. They're planning their journey, right? So the support could be planning, right? Plan with those around you. Don't do this alone. Ask for help. Oh, this is making more sense. Okay, this is making more sense. All right. The climax is the Three of Swords. So this represents how the ultimate culmination of the hero's journey is expected to play out. This is a final obstacle, a moment of truth, and a realization which must be had, or a battle of some kind that the hero must surpass. Right. So we have the Three of Swords. When you're looking at other decks, right, the Three of Swords is a more traditional, is like the of Swords to the heart, right? Heartbreak. We have the Three of Swords here in this mountain of rocks. This person is looking at those rocks. They feel a bit defeated, a bit devastated, but they look like they're right outside the kingdom or the town. But these rocks, they kind of look like they're in the way of their path. Ooh, that's very interesting. And that's the climax. And the consequence is the sun. So the final card indicates what happens after the dust settles. This card observes how the hero or the world around them might be changed by their story. I mean, you get the sun, that's pretty good positive outlook. Um, oh, that's very interesting. Right. So we have this sun card. We have this person. Ooh, they're on like a buck. That's a huge buck. They're riding the buck. They're on the path, and the path leads to the sun between the mountains. It's a good ending. It's clarity, achievement. All right. So, what is this meaning to me? Okay. So, I think what this spread is sort of telling us about, it's kind of telling us about the achievements and the what's the word I'm looking for? What the Election Truth Alliance is trying to achieve. This is what they're going through. This is their battle. This is what they're working towards. So they have this hope and this optimism. They say this is the catalyst, is the star. The star is them seeing the data, right? They're seeing that they believe that there is proof of election or vote manipulation across many different votes we've had recently. I asked specifically about the Tennessee one, but I think the story is kind of the same. Um, so they are the fool, they're the hero. They're trying to, start this journey of truth. Um, the companion is the Two of Pentacles. So how do I want to look at that? That's knowledge, right? Pentacles aren't just wealth, they're knowledge. So they have the data, they have the proof, they have the knowledge. Um, and the foil is going to be the Ten of Swords. Foil is the hero's opposite. It represents the thing that clashes against them. Let me just look this up again. The Ten of Swords. Devastation, defeat. Yeah, defeat. So, you know, this is the loss of the elections. That is what they're going against. They are fighting against the loss of elections with their data because they are hopeful, they're optimistic, because they see, they have proof. The Ace of Wands is their foe. This is a challenge. Oh, I forgot to show the wands. So the wands are fire. And as you can see in this card, there's that wand sticking up. It looks like it's on fire and that the smoke is rising off of it. Trying to see if it's in a specific area. It looks sort of, I don't, it's not a cemetery, but it looks like there's some place you can sit there. Maybe an old church because of the arch. Looks like it was in something that does not exist anymore. Looks like a church. All right, so we have defeat. The fool is going against the defeat, and the foe is the Ace of Wands. Foe is fire, power, creative power. Mm, yeah. The creativity of masking the votes, of changing the votes. That is the foe. So there, the foe is that, this has been something that has probably been going on for a while. It is the Ace of Wands is saying, there is a procedure that has already been fleshed out that people follow to change these votes. And so far, it's been working. And that is what the Election Truth Alliance is going against. Um, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 6 is the support, right? So the Election Truth Alliance, um, everything they do is by volunteers. So they need volunteers. This is, showing these two people working together. They're making a plan before they go on this journey. They're looking at the data. They're trying to see how to go about this. So that is the support needed. If you know how to do data analysis, if that is something that you do on a regular basis, you know how to understand how to read data and understand what it means. That's the support that they need. So they always need volunteers if you go on the website to help with those sort of things. They also need volunteers for other things. That's what they need for this journey. Because the climax is, if they do well, we will have the sun, we will have the truth come out. The climax is the ultimate culmination. Heartbreak, because people are going to understand that things have been messed with, that we don't have the truth. There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of, I can't think of the word. When we're being fooled, basically. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we don't realize. And the Election Truth Alliance team is going to help show what's going on behind the scenes. And if they are successful, I don't know if that means successful with court cases, possibly, then we'll have the truth and we'll have better elections. We'll have safer elections. We won't have manipulation. So the Three of Swords is showing the heartbreak of finding out that manipulation exists truthfully and honestly. It goes from conspiracy theory to truth. And I think that's what this spread is telling me. So I asked if there were shenanigans, and I think this is telling me that yes, there are. There are shenanigans. But the Election Truth Alliance and other groups that are looking into it, they have the proof. They are going full ahead on the journey. Um, there are people that are helping them because they have the data. They have the knowledge, I should say. The companion is the knowledge. They're going against this manipulation, because there's another election lost. This is the sadness, the devastation of another loss of an election. But they have the truth that says otherwise. They need the volunteers to help with the data, to analyze, to plan, to have proper court documents in cases to bring up. Um, the truth will be, the truth will come out. And it will be a bit devastating for everyone. Nobody wants to think of their country as having elections that are easily manipulated. You know, it's very sad in general. Um, but when that truth comes out, we have the sun. We have optimism. We can look forward to having actual elections that are fair and balanced. All right. Very beautiful cards. Yeah. This deck it's even more beautiful in person. So if you're interested, I would definitely say to look into it. This is the guidebook that comes with it. And again, The Endless Tarot by Eric Maile, Maille. I'm not going to do any yes or no cards because I went on kind of long. I have other cards that I want to show you, and eventually I will get to those. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you watched. If you watched all the way through, I really appreciate that. If you have any comments, I appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, I very much appreciate it. I like to get subscriptions because I also like to see what other people subscribe to. So it's nice to see that. Check out my info for all the other tarot channels that I like to watch. And not all of them are tarot. Some of them are just intuitive. Some are both. You know, lots of different things that people do. Lots of different talents. Um, yeah. So thank you very much. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I can't believe I only did one reading in November. Well, one reading that I posted. So hopefully I'll have more time in December to do more readings. So thank you very much. Have a good day.